That's the most important thing. I got some videos saved for you guys. Don't you worry. I know. I'm just too nice for you. I'm just too nice to you guys. It is what it is, man. Okay, well, knowledge-based games and why you should play them. Sounds good. Maybe we'll find some games so we can play in there as well. So that's gonna be good.
Hello there. I'm John Wolf, also known as Superdude or Super, whichever you prefer, and I would like to talk about a particular type of video game progression that I think more people should experience. Most people who have played an adventure game have come across an obstacle that you simply
Right, Hollow Knight. I want to play Hollow Knight, but I'm fucking sure I'm gonna suck, and that's gonna be quite annoying for viewers, I guess. So I don't know about that, but I want to. I want to.
can't do anything with. Be it a physical obstruction or a ledge that's just a bit too high, you could not possibly do anything to clear this obstacle at this point in time. So, you move on, and continue exploring the level until you come across some treasure chest that gives you a handy-dandy power-up. Aha, you think. This is just what I need to clear that previous obstacle. So you go back there, a good and smart little gamer, and you clear that obstacle.
Oh, also to all the juicers. First of all, Forsen beat the record, right? He fucking beat the record. 1. 2. He beat the record today. Like, what the fuck? 1840 was it? I mean, it was with the help of K4. So I don't know if that's gonna count. But anyways, congrats. That's pretty good, man. 18 minutes for a fucking speedrun. His best was like 20 minutes, right? Something, right? And then Forsen beat it by 18 something. And I think X got the thing again, which is fucking crazy, right? In one or 2 days, right? With the help of K4, I'll agree, but I don't know, man. I hope he does. I hope he does another one, and I hope Forsen can do some variety, because, well, Minecraft. I think it's been a bit. I think it's gotten a bit too much Minecraft, right? But yeah, that's it.
Hooray! You feel both strong as a result of gaining new power, and smart since you figured out how to use your ability. There are examples of this all over gaming. I have been showing you Hollow Knight's Forgotten Crossroads, but there's also the Legend
But yeah,
of
Hollow
Zelda
Knight is a
Twilight
really cool
Princess's
game. I want to play
Harmony
1 and
Realms,
2, but I
where
don't
the
know if
way
I
to
want
the
to play
boss
on
key is
stream or
locked
not.
behind these silly wall grooves, and this seemingly unrelated cog-shaped hole in the floor a room over, which stops direct process through the rest of the dungeon. No idea what to do with these things, so you keep exploring. One
Lots of
mini-boss later
plans,
in the
guys.
game
Lots
does
of plans. Lots of games to
let you
play.
have
Lots
that
of
mouse
videos to
key
react
open
to.
that
It
final
is
door in one fell swoop.
hard,
In God of War
but we'll
2018,
make it
you're
work.
walking through the Light Elven Sanctuary with your boy, and there are all these blue crystals all over the place. In fact, they've been all over the game up until this point. So when Atreus finally gets these special light elven arrows that make these bridges alight, your brain is happy to finally put 2 and 2 together on that. In the original Axiom Verge, there are all these
Batman
glitchy
Arkham
walls
City, near
which
the
you
beginning
can't
of the game,
process
there is
through,
a
which
generator
generates
basically
the
the
entirety of Donkey Kong access the Joker's
That's a bit. It's a bit way too dank.
This is a tried and true method of progressing in video games. And for some genres, such as the Zelda-like action-adventure game or a Metroidvania, it is their bread and butter. Rub in their face that they can't achieve something, give them that handy-dandy power-up and show them how it works, use it later in puzzle or platforming settings. Winner every time. But there is another method of progression that is a little less mechanical and a little more cerebral, where rather than giving the player an item or ability with which to interface with the world in a new way, the game instead pulls back the curtain and reveals possibilities previously unknown to the player. This
Is it
is what
Outer
I would
Worlds?
call knowledge-based unlocks, hereafter abbreviated as KBUs, and in my opinion, KBUs completely change how a game is experienced. I hope to share with you some of my favorite
I don't think I'll
games
play
at
any
the
of these
forefront
games, any of these
KBUs.
fucking
Hope that you try them out for yourself,
Souls-like.
and highlight why more people should make video games like this.
You
Quick disclaimer
must
for ya.
be
Because they are
bugging if you think I'll play
knowledge-based
fucking
unlocks, if I tell
Souls-like.
you any of these unlocks, I will have in fact ruined the thing and taken away from some of the game's discovery. As a result, I will be talking about vibes, opening hours, why the game is cool, how the knowledge-based unlocks help, but not really talking about, the mechanics. Even the opening hours may be considered spoilers to die-hard fans of these games if I were to tell you, so just know that going in. If something sounds cool, stop listening immediately and get in there. Try it for yourself. If you need more convincing, then please keep watching the video.
Wait. By the way, is that my fault that I can't watch fucking 1080? Wait. Let me check. No, it's not. Alright. 720 it is, guys.
I mean, it's not really YouTube if I tell you to stop
I mean, you know, I'm sure you guys
skip that section and go
only
there
watch
anyway.
1080p, so maybe 720p, something fresh for your eyes, you know, something to relax your eyes a little.
No items,
Enjoy.
just knowledge, from lore down to every single mechanic. And as far as I know, no game goes harder in this regard than Outer Wilds.
Outer
is
Wilds.
an archaeological space exploration game where you're this small little guy called a Hearthian who's preparing for his first day out in space. You have a starting area where the basics of space travel are explained to you, from piloting your spacecraft, the various tools of the spacefaring trade, and how to travel in a zero-G environment. Once you find the
This game looks really cool
to
as
your
well.
ship, you can actually enter the thing, where you are given your greatest ally and orient
But it looks
yourself
more
to
like a
your ship.
puzzle game,
The
like
computer.
puzzle
The computer logs
explore,
locations
so
and things you've learned about, and gives you a sense
that's
of
not really my
what you know,
expertise if
what
you
there is
haven't
left to
realized
discover.
yet.
After giving it a once-over, you're off to space to go wherever and do whatever. So, where do you want to go? Depending on your dialogue choices back home, various planets may have been pointed out to you. As you set out to wherever you choose, you will very soon discover that there was this ancient alien race called the Nomai that seemingly took up shop all over your galaxy.
But
They
this
had
game
some
looks
pretty
cool,
sophisticated tech,
so that's
but they're
that.
all gone now. What happened to them? Where did they come from? Are they Hearthians involved Nomai people? Did the Nomai find some way to leave this solar system entirely? At its core, this game is archaeological in nature. You're staring at the ancient history of your people and the Nomai and trying to figure out how this all pieces together. Put another way, the goal is to learn. Everything in the game, from story threads to mechanics, are out in space for you to discover for yourself. And yes, I did say mechanics. Learning gameplay mechanics in this way means it is up to you to discover how that mechanic works and experiment on your own. Not only that, but once you have your head wrapped around it, where do you apply this information?
Yeah,
It's a lot less obvious
that's
than use your new blasty power on the big bug blocking your path. And this engages the player more than the alternative.
it's a bit too
You
big
both
brain for me, I
discovered
guess.
how this works and what to do with it.
My
with your
ADHD
own
brain does not
Now, with the
does not
trappings out of the
condone
way,
these type of
I
games.
can tell you about my first day out in space in Outer Wilds. I went to the moon, spoke to some old man sitting there, and was staring at the planets in the sky as I wondered where I wanted to explore. The game has only really presented me with one wrong answer. Dark Bramble. Dark Bramble is a mysterious hole with roots grabbing chunks of rock.
Oh, isn't that where you like
If
go
you suggest
inside and
going
there's
to
like
Hearthian in the observatory, he says
huge
to you,
place?
I must say, should you choose to go to Dark Bramble, be very careful. No one's explored there before either, for what you'll find are excellent reasons. This place
It's like
is
this black
dangerous
hole
as some
type
may
of shit.
know, and I ignored all of that. Going inside, I immediately discovered unimaginable horrors beyond my comprehension. Piloting my ship and being generally
Kinda
pretty
scared me.
terrified of the situation I put myself in, I managed to find one quiet location where I could rest a bit and explore. I entered a hollowed out inside of one of those roots found on the outside of the bramble. On the very tip was something quite out of place on this planet, and I was woefully unprepared to discover it. I had just happened upon a gameplay mechanic. And given that this was day one of my adventure out here, I had no idea what I was seeing. Luckily, when you find bits of information that are important to your greater understanding of your solar system, the computer is updated with this information. A little pin appeared on my computer detailing what I had found
White
for the rest of
hole.
the playthrough. It was only near the end of the game, looking over my pinboard like a madman, did I come to understand the significance of what I saw there, and was finally able to complete the game after. This is the experience Outer Wilds, and by extension I, am selling to you. This is a game where everything is a discovery, and the onus is on you to piece it together. You explore at your own curiosity, to satisfy your questions and hopefully find some answers for the Nomai.
Yeah,
and
I'm
yourself.
really not
This
that
means
type
to
of
see the story,
explorer kind of
You
guy.
must be actively thinking about the information you're presented with. As a result, you are inherently more invested in what's happening in Outer Wilds than in a video game.
But
where
this game does
information is
look cool.
delivered
It's
by
more of a
cutscene and that allows it to cut deeper when it wants to.
It's more of a watch TikTok kind of
Personally,
game.
this
Like,
game
I don't
made
know,
me feel
just
immense
see some random
sadness,
clips of it on
triumph,
TikTok
fear,
and you're like,
perhaps
damn,
most
that's cool.
often, a deep
I
existential
feel like that's
horror
more that
on
type of
multiple
game.
levels throughout the entire game's run. While I will say the game doesn't end in that place, Space has a way of making you feel the tininess of your own existence, and this game has achieved that feeling like no other. Outer Wilds is the purest expression of KBUs, and this fact allows it to stick in your mind for weeks as you're trying to make sense of what you've seen, piece together the threads, and even after it ends, you'll be beside yourself thinking about it for months to come. I know I was. Oh, and one more thing. I purposefully left Outer Wilds out of its frame, so to speak. There is a mechanic which you will discover within the first hour of playing, which is structurally important to the entire game. Reviews will tell you about it. Other YouTubers will tell you about it. Watch any Let's Play, and you would see pretty immediately what I've purposefully neglected to mention within the first hour. I've neglected to mention this very crucial frame because it is the actual reason for your adventure. You go out for the Nomai at first, yes, but you discover something greater soon after. And it's that thing that I want to leave unsaid. So you can have a
42.
rather strong discovery all your own, unsullied by me. I hope you enjoy it. I can sing the praises of Outer Wilds for probably twice the length of this video alone, but it does have a pretty massive downside that any game with KBUs has. You can only
So this game's
purely
only about
experience
Outer
it
Wilds?
once. Games of this type are lightning in a bottle.
I mean,
The
using
first
this
time is
example.
electric and a one-of-a-kind experience. But once you know the secrets to a knowledge-based game, you can't unlearn what you've discovered. Cat's out of the bag. Most games have this problem to some degree. Take, for example, this church in Dark Souls 1's The Undead Burg.
What I would suggest doing is just circle around and block, look for an opening.
Hey, did you know?
What
There's an
the
arcane
fuck?
spellcaster above you right now. Once you've seen them, that's it. You know they're there.
Nice.
Another fun fact. Once you kill them, they never spawn here again. This wizard is both out of place in this church, and their presence is very important to the story of Dark Souls, and they disappear after you kill them once. Brilliant. This is
Cool.
partially the reason why members of the Get Good gang are constantly on the prowl for new Souls-likes.
Get
Once you know the layout
good.
of enemies, the boss designs, the secrets, a lot of the initial challenge is gone. So you must search for more games of a similar ilk to get that same hit. Many games from many studios have risen to the challenge of
The
sating the
Surge.
Get Good
Mortal.
gang.
Mortal Shell looks
From
really
Software
cool.
is no exception. But every game of this genre has that issue.
Mortal
Play it
Shell
how
is
you
a game that I would
maybe
like to
try
play
some
as well.
different builds if you're into that sort of thing. On to the next. In this way, we can consider the level design and enemy layouts to be
Hello there.
KNU. I know I'm stretching here, bear with me. And this also suffers from the lightning in a
Oh
bottle
shit!
problem. Since most
Thanks for the
studios are chasing
follow.
a trend when they make Souls-likes,
Story
they
horror.
just ignore this negative feature of the design process and walk right over it. They got money to make. But one studio, namely the one who started the trend, decided to take knowledge-based unlocks for a ride and make a game where what is normally a weakness of the genre.
Yeah, I don't know.
Advantage.
As I said, I'm not gonna
Sekiro,
play
twice,
any.
is
Yeah,
a-
Sekiro, I'm not gonna play that either. This is just.
Honestly, Sekiro is really pushing at the boundaries of its genre conventions, but let's call it what's easiest. Sekiro is a Souls-like made by the genre's founder From Software back in 2019. It is a game where you play as Wolf.
Actually, I
who
did
knows
play this
in charge
like
of a prince named Kuro, who is born
20
with
minutes,
the bloodline
30 minutes in, I
and
think.
power that the
I
villains
fucking
of the
sucked
game
at this
want for
game.
themselves. As it
Sure,
progresses,
maybe if I played it
and
longer, I
one
could have, you know,
would-
like,
oh my God.
maybe enjoyed it.
Wolf!
But I was
Oh my
like,
God, Wolf, that's not helpful, you walnut!
I was like,
Jesus!
nope, thank you.
You wake up from that massive loss very much not dead and sporting a cool new bionicle arm that was passed down to you by the sculptor, the very man who saved you from death in that field earlier. From here, Wolf must fight with everything he has to regain Kudo from those who would use his blood for...
I mean, it does look cool though. Mechanics and shit, like the game
You're
style,
not sure what they want his
playing,
blood
like
for
very,
at
very
this point, but Who
smooth,
cares? You're not paid to think.
very
You're a
nice,
shinobi.
but
So let's talk about how you actually fight in this game. You slash with your sword, block enemy attacks, and sometimes there are special attacks that come from your prosthetic hand. You have some items that can affect your stats or cure status ailments, but not a lot with any offensive utility. What you have in your hands is what you're fighting with. As for defenses, you have two bars that represent health and posture. Your health is pretty self-explanatory, but it's the
Posture.
posture bar that is Sekiro's innovation. You see, unlike in the other Soulsborne titles, where your ability to block
Doesn't
with
Elden Ring
blows
use
is
that?
determined by stamina
posture
and your
thing?
shield's quality levels, Sekiro allows you to block infinitely and suffer no health damage. In theory. What does take damage is your posture bar, which breaks when it reaches capacity, causing you to stagger,
I mean, I
and
wouldn't
allowing
know.
the enemies to capitalize on your mistakes. You can regain posture damage by sitting there and blocking, but if you recall, that's what got us here in the first place. The only way to take an enemy's attack against you and turn it into a positive outcome with no downsides is not to block, but to deflect the blow. Deflecting requires an accurately timed press of the block button.
I think it's a
moments
very
before they hit you, forcing the
satisfying
enemy
game
attack out of the
though,
way
once
and
you like
shaking their footing.
parry
This
things,
maneuver
deflect
deals reduced
things,
posture
dodge
damage to
things,
you and forces
attack,
some of that
dodge.
posture damage back onto your enemy.
But I
Here,
don't know.
we see the full picture of combat. You attack when you can, blocks or throws attacks with precision timing with the hopes of breaking their posture bar and staggering them. And unlike your foes, most of them at least, Wolf is a trained killer. When that bar breaks, he takes them out. It is for this reason that the health bar is in that corner of the screen, and the posture bar is here, all over the top. This is the bar you want to destroy. Knock your opponents to their knees so you can end them right then and there. There are some pretty important ramifications to the combat being this way. For one, it turns Sekiro into a rhythm game of feeling the pulse the enemy's hits to deflect against them, and return with a volley of your own. The combat is twitchy, personal, and fights can often
Yeah, I
be
just
fought
don't have the
nose to
patience to
nose,
play
and neither
patience
side
to play
can
this game.
inch until one drops dead, and the victor
If I have to go against the boss
Another
like
consequence
more
of
than
this is that the
more than
game is
7
hard as
times,
balls.
oh, dude.
Each fight is a fight where you must internalize the rhythm. If you don't, you lose. There isn't some overpowered sword you can go find and come back with. You have Kasubi mode. You don't have any awesome spell to blow bosses
Instantly
down in
feel
one
like
go.
fuck.
You have shurikens, an axe, and an umbrella. Stat increases can only be gained through prayer beads, and while some can be found through the environment, the bulk of them are dropped by the very bosses you are struggling against. So, unlike in every Soulsborne title before or since, you can't
Soulsborne,
grind
that's
to
what
a
they're
higher
called.
strength in Sekiro. You just have to internalize the fight and become better. Actually better. As a person. The knowledge unlock in Sekiro is rhythm, twitch timing, and an internalization of patterns that you both must recognize on your own and be able to act upon on your own. You are unlocking the ability to play Sekiro, and the game is constantly questioning if you actually do know how to play it. If you make it to the end, after they throw the actual kitchen sink at you,
Spoilers.
it finally concedes. Yes, you do know how to play Sekiro. And the credits roll, followed by an invitation to play New Game Plus. Now, remember how I said mere moments ago that you just
Oh my god, I
learned how
love
to
Doom,
play Sekiro?
dude.
Let's say you
Doom
take that notion for a
OST
spin,
is fucking crazy. It's so fucking good, man.
You see, in most other Souls games, New Game Plus lets you keep all your
Which one is
gear,
that, Rip and
the
Tear
enemy's
or
health and
something?
damage increase, but the mystery of it
Maybe a
is gone.
Doom store,
It's
a
kinda
Doomsgate or
just run through
something.
the same
Dude,
game again. This time
fucking
you're prepared and
crazy.
you know what to do with yourself at all twists and turns. Sekiro takes that idea and turns it up to 11.
Yeah, I already have no fucking idea what the hell is going on.
Remember, Sekiro's a rhythm game. Once you have the rhythms down, it's like your favorite song coming on at a dance and you already know the moves. Playing Sekiro through a second time is like cheating. Every wall from your first playthrough, smash them one by one, first try without fail. This horrible centipede guy who swings at you non-stop, you remember the rhythm. It's block, 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 block.
But isn't every
Back
Soulsborne
up,
like that?
You're gonna want to jump on his head, repeat until
Isn't
he
it
dies.
Not
That's
only
music, baby. You can
restricted to
transcribe that
Sekiro,
crap.
isn't it like...
Playing Sekiro again turns the experience into a power fantasy where your third eye is open, and nothing can stop you. And remember, you learned this. There was no grinding levels to get this power. This is something you earned, and you are now reaping what was sown. You were a freaking shinobi, and you're gonna tear this country open until you find Kudo, then do whatever happens after that. I'm sure the game just ends once you get Kudo back, who cares? There is this video by Fitzroy Animations that encapsulates this feeling in an animated
It's not
music
just gonna
video.
rip.
I encourage everyone to give it a look, though it is the
Never
entire
mind.
game in animated song form, so perhaps don't if you mind the spoilers. Elsewise, I definitely recommend it. This song has been stuck in my head for years and years. So, in summation, whilst KBUs do make a second playthrough a less magical experience in comparison to the first, Sometimes you can lean into that
I
and
think
give your players something
if
to look forward to.
I
on
ever
subsequent
do
playthroughs,
decide
like
I want to play
the final game I want to talk about
a
blends
Soulsborne,
elements
I'll
of both
probably
games
play
I've spoken
Elden
about
Ring.
thus far.
If,
The act of mechanics
for
being
whatever the
given to you as
fuck reason I
knowledge,
decide
like
to
without
play
a Wilds,
Soulsborne, right?
and how we can use knowledge gained to enhance a second playthrough. This game is none other than 2022's Tunic. Tunic is an action-adventure game made by Andrew Schuldice, where you play a
that's
little
my list
fox
to play.
friend on an adventure through a voxel world. From the outset, you are told
quite-
nothing
quite-
about how the game works, save one thing.
Priority-wise,
Once you
it's
gain
quite
the stick, you
low,
are
but
told
it's
what
on
the
my
menu
list.
button is, and from there, how to set the stick to an equipment slot. And that is it. By button freaking,
You know what game
can
is quite
see
up,
this flip
quite
action,
high?
but that's the end of what you can discover by
Roomba
just
Simulator.
button freaking. Get a key, open a door, and you find
Fucking
the first
Power
page
Wash
of the
Simulator.
manual.
Oh,
The
those games
manual
go
is,
hard.
well, a manual for the game that you're playing right now. It is a glossy, beautifully crafted book which illustrates mechanics, secrets, and maps of the in-game environment, as well as what you're supposed to be doing here. This is where the KBUs come from in Tunic. Without this manual, Tunic is an action-adventure game that absolutely looks up to Legend of Zelda and has some Souls-like combat, because there's nothing more hip than Souls-like combat. That is completely fine, and the game would still have so much to offer with a vibrant world to discover all its own. But because the game tells you nothing of mechanics and instead places them within a manual, which is collectible within the game world, this changes the discovery of the game immensely. It is very similar in structure to the See a Thing, Get a Power, Use It Later system.
Oh, Paper
we've
Mario,
spoken
I
about
love
already with
that game.
Metroidvanias like Hollow Knight, but now, those unlocks, those powers, are knowledge. What does this yellow square do? It obviously does something. And there are multiple of them throughout the game, which you will find before you will realize what they do. What about these heroes' graves? What about the purple room? Or any single item, since not a single one of them is explained to you. The manual will help you figure it out.
Yeah, right, the
And
more you
now,
play,
like in Metroidvania,
the
you
more you
remember
get to
that you
read
saw
the
this
menu,
elsewhere
right?
and
Yeah,
wanna
yeah.
go use your newly
Yeah,
discovered
I
ability
think that's
over
a
there.
really cool concept.
And to be
Like,
clear, it's not like it's spelled out in the manual once you get the pages.
I think that's
The
really
manual
cool.
is written in a foreign script, so all you really have to go off of are pictures, unless something is really important, in which case it's in your chosen language.
And like
So
the more you
still have to
progress,
figure
the
it
more
out
you get to
yourself
read
and
the
be
menu
willing
and
to
stuff,
experiment
right?
with the
So I
possibilities
think that's
you're
pretty
presented
fucking
with.
cool.
All the way to the end of the game, you are getting pages for this manual that are revealing entire new mechanical aspects that you weren't aware of, and it is super amazing
Damn,
that
just a
Tunic
fucking
pulls
hit.
that off
What
in
a
both
fucking
its
noob.
first
What a
and 11th
fucking...
hours. This
I would
game
never.
rules, and beating it is a true treasure. But then there's the second playthrough. I know that Tunic is considered an action-adventure game officially, but I think it is more Metroidvania than people give it credit. Metroid has a habit of presenting the game in an order to you which, if you know its ins and outs, you just ignore and do it in whatever order you please.
I see
Now
it.
that you know nearly every
Do you?
mechanic that Tunic kept locked away from you, you can use them out of order, so to speak, and do it in whatever order you want. This first yellow square,
But-
yeah, I know the song and dance, watch as I... Unlike in Outer Wilds,
Right, I
where
never
the
thought
second
about this.
playthrough
Tunic,
holds
the
little
second
new content
playthrough, I
for
never
you
thought.
for being thorough. Tunic's second is a wholly new experience, as the world presented before you is delivered in a remixed order. Just like Sekiro, take the experience gained from a different game's worth of
Wait, is that a
discovery and
speedrun?
curiosity and turn it back on the thing. Beat it to pieces with information you've gained out of order, you cheater. For this reason, Tunic is both a lightning in a bottle, magical experience where you play it through to the end, and it has more delights to discover past that if you choose to go back for more. Tunic is, as of my writing this
I think
right
it's a
now,
cool game.
the closest the game has come to deleting KNU's weaknesses while keeping all of its strengths. And I love it for that. I hope you do too. Conclusions are stupid, let's be quick. Knowledge-based unlocks are like giving you the bow and arrow unlock, but the bow and arrow is information, and you have to figure out what it does all your own. These invest you more since you are having to think about them, what this information means, and how to use it, rather than, say, being given a slow-down power in the same room as the super-fast slammy door. These lead to lightning and
Now
bottle
that's a
experiences,
game.
and here are some of my favorites. Outer Wilds, an archaeological mystery game that is the purest form of this experience. Sekiro, a truly difficult game to master that takes the knowledge gained from your first playthrough and uses it as a catalyst to make you feel like a powerhouse in the second. And Tunic, a Metroidvania which blends the two game strengths into one cohesive whole, tempering KNU's one big weakness. I am Superdude. Thank you for watching. Hey, thank you for watching the video. This is my first real YouTube video outside of college, and the first one that I actually wrote a script for. I mean, this isn't scripted,
I'll subscribe.
but,
I'll give you a like.
yeah,
Good video, good
thanks
video.
for
Good shit.
watching. Let me know if you
We'll
agree,
let him talk.
disagree, hate me, want to say whatever you want. I don't care. Just say it in the comments. Sometimes I'm on Twitch, same name as here. And
Outro card here.
I am Superdude. Thank you for watching.
Well, now you guys saw his outro card, yeah? I mean, hey, guys. He should hire me. Let's be honest, yeah? I mean, hey, he should hire me, no? Hey. Took me quite some time to get this done, but hey, it does look good, doesn't it? Right. Now onto the